Welcome to Zorpazorp Gaming. My name's Lachie Linton Keane, and welcome to the second installment in our Battle Company series. In this episode, we're going to be covering everything from the League meet, all the miniature prep, all of the terrain, and of course, some wonderful Mirkwood Spider action as our companies move one step further through the narrative campaign. If you remember where we left off in the first episode, I'd had a pretty good round one, actually. I'd recruited a couple of extra units, including a Son of Earl. I'd managed to kit out 5 heroes with getting a few relic bonuses and get some more cavalry as well. I got some horses for a couple of my heroes. So I've got a bit of work to do preparing my company. Got some new models to paint up and a few promotions to kind of sink my teeth into, so that should be good. We've also got some great terrain that we need to knock together for our Mirkwood Forest board. Obviously, you know, that's a great location full of rich atmosphere, and we want to capture as much of that as possible and make some really fantastic forest scary terrain for our Mirkwood spiders to leap out of. So that should be pretty cool. So let's jump into that. We'll get the boards ready, we'll get the minis ready, and then we can get set for our second Battle Companies meet. So I finished painting my company. I think they've come out pretty well, actually. I love the new Son of Earl model, or new to me anyway. First time I've painted one. It's such a beautiful sculpt. There's so much detail, and it's quite a cool kind of pose. Lots of action in the cloak, which is always good. I had to paint up a Royal Guard, which is just one of the most beautiful models ever. And a couple of mounted versions of Arod and Grimbold, because they've horsed up, which was pretty cool. The Son of Earl model and the Royal Guard model kind of gave me an opportunity to do a bit more thematic stuff, use gold a bit more, and I've done a red and green half shield kind of look, which we might start continuing through the whole company. We'll see how that goes, definitely for the heavier hitting units. But that's all pretty exciting. I'm kind of keen to see what models I get for reinforcements this round and see what I get to paint next month. But that's all come together really well. So I've also knocked together our beautiful Fangorn board, which took me a fair bit. There's a whole other video actually dedicated to preparing that board, which I'll link in the description, but here's a few little snippets just so you guys can check some out now. As you can see, I've really focused on making some really characteristic kind of forest and something that feels a bit fantasy and Mirkwood or Fangorn, so it's versatile as well. It's a useful board that isn't too hard set. We can use it for many other types of games in the future, but it's also going to be perfect for this scenario. Focused a bit on creating some kind of undulating elevation and incorporating a little bit of rock work as well, so it wasn't just all trees and grass, and I think that's come out pretty well. And now that's all prepared, let's smash into the second League meet. Welcome to Battle Companies Round 2! Yay! Each player plays one narrative match, which is from our campaign or a custom mission. Today we're playing either Mirkwood or Fangorn, depending on where you feel like your company is in the world, but it's effectively the Mirkwood mission. And then we will be playing 3 matches, which are, off the top of my head, yes, Hunt the Beast, Kill the Cave Troll, the Siege Ground one, where we have to take 5 objectives, one in the center.
Show of Strength.
And Show of Strength, which is leader kills. Our narrative boards are the 2 forest boards over there. For those of you who don't remember the narrative scenario, your company starts in the center, and Mirkwood spiders come and fuck your shit up, and you have to survive for 9 turns, and the spiders just keep spawning as you kill them, so it's good fun.
They're all bad.
So yeah, I suppose let's get into it. Alright, so it's time for my narrative match. First up of the day, I've got to fight off hordes and hordes of Mirkwood spiders, controlled by Matthew here, and we'll see if Rohan can survive over 9 turns. So, reconciliation for Game 1. As you can see, we've got a couple of injuries there, which we were lucky enough to roll full recoveries, and my amazing run with injuries continues. Hopefully that trend will last the day. Lots of spiders getting killed, which was great, so lots of experience floating around. A lot of models hitting their 5-point quota and getting some great results. We've got an extra wound on Grimbold, some special rules might on Brago, and Thengel rolled a big 4 on his Royal Guard promotion. So now we've got 2 Royal Guards in the side, which is fantastic for that fight 4. The extra influence we'll just keep in the bank. And the narrative reward scored me an Elven Bow for Harloff, which was fantastic. We're going to combine that with his new Expert Shot and have him shooting twice with the Elven Bow. Rohan victory, sort of by the skin of my teeth. I lost my Royal Guard and my Son of Earl in like the second turn. I was terrified it was all falling apart, but then managed to kill loads of spiders.
I decided to swap dice at that point.
Yeah, like got a couple of good paralyzers off early on, which just screwed these guys. They did survive, however, so they will battle on to fight another day. And one of my shooting heroes got an elf bow from some elves who came and helped us, and now he shoots twice. So I kind of pew-pew, when it ended up going pretty well. Thanks, dude. Good game. Alright, go for it. No, it's good, Jackson. Looks like Atmos. Background, just face the other way. Alright.
Yeah.
Pretend to play with a ghost. Alright, go for it, bro.
Hello, I'm Brock. I'm playing Harad. We are playing Seize Ground. I'm very, very excited to play on this super sweet board. I think I have an excellent chance of winning.
My first competitive match of the day is Seize Ground, which is the objective-based mission. We've got 5 tokens in the center of the map, spread throughout a big central building, which should make some really dynamic gameplay. My opponent for this match is Brock's wonderful haradrim Black Company. He's got so many models, up to 13 already, so that's lots of poison arrows coming in from the archers, and a couple of great combat heroes as well, including his leader, who's mounted and wielding a war spear. So reconciliation for round 2, another couple of injuries picked up. Helm once again survives after doing nothing, but Brago picks up an arm wound, so he'll no longer be able to use his shield until that arm wound heals. Also a lot of experience going around, 4 big kills for Grimbold, which once again takes him across the threshold for 5 points. He picks up an attack, Harloff gets a 3+ shoot value to add to his elven bow, and we get some steady aim and heroic presence as well, very useful for the company. Another victory nets us another 4 influence, which we'll spend straight away on 2 more horses for our Royal Guard, and hopefully they can provide a bit more support to Arod and Grimbold and fill out the mounted cadre. So victory for Rohan, that was like super close. We had all our objectives clustered in the center, we were both moving up the stairs, and it was, yeah, total knife edge till like the end, and then you ran away.
The men of the West managed to hold us Gilead against the Eastern invaders.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Breaking you was absolutely the turning point, but it was, yeah, there was like a turn there where if I broke you too soon and I wasn't on the right objectives, it could have been a draw or you could have pipped me, but no, that was lucky.
I thought I had a very good chance of winning using my pincer maneuver here.
Yes, yeah.
Unfortunately, you had a fantastic defensive
position. My little bastion of pro archers with elf bows and shit. That was awesome. Good game, dude. Next time.
I'll do my heroes one.
Demonetized.
Rejected!
Hey guys, I'm Luke. I'm actually running the Iron Hills, and we're about to play Show of Strength.
Okay, so a show of strength, a great little scenario where we're focusing on leader kills, so Grimbold's going to have to continue his strong day so far to bring us across the line, and we're playing Luke's Iron Hills, who are led by their captain Graw, who's riding a war goat and wielding a war spear. Now Luke's company is a lot lower costed than mine, however he is going to have a big chunk of juicy rerolls, which could play a big factor. We'll have to wait and see.
These bastards a good hammering! Ganad! Dore Nul!
And our first defeat of the day. Reconciliation for Game 3, we've got injuries across the board. We roll on our tables and we're left with Thengel and Helm both injured, and Grimbold's got Wounds of a Hero. Seems like a perfect time to use some healing herbs and smash Grimbold up to Protected by the Valor, grabbing himself an extra fate point, and that conveniently pushes both Thengel and Helm into full recovery. So a pretty handy showing for healing herbs. Not as much experience going around, so everyone sort of grinds up a little bit, but once again, Grimbold manages to get pushed over the top, and he learns a magical power. Very exciting, and another little handy shooting power for Harsafel there, just to keep netting out that fire base. Defeat gets us another 2 influence, which takes us up to 6, and we'll immediately buy in new healing herbs after using our first one. So a disappointing outing for the company, but still managed to pick up a magical power and a fate point for Grimbold.
Defeat for Rohan. Somehow my vastly superior company managed to get absolutely cooked by a wonderful game of chess. That was
Cat and mouse.
Yeah, cat and mouse there. That was really cool, maneuvering around all the buildings and stuff. Pretty tactical, pretty fun actually. Sometimes it's just a brute slaughter in battle companies, but
this was very difficult. Hardest game of the day for me.
yeah, for sure. Same here so far. I think the 2 pivotal moments for me were losing my Master Archer, my super Legolas Pro, from a bit out of positioning and not realising he was in range of bloody crossbows, which just gave me nightmare all day, and not managing to get that kill with Grimbold early on.
2 very small mistakes.
Yes, 2 small mistakes that certainly had a bigger impact on the game. But man, Iron Hills are tough.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tough and pointy. That's how I would describe this game. Tough and pointy. Good game, dude.
Yes.
Thanks.
Hey guys, Patrick here, playing 300 Walls Halls, led by my fabled Mirkwood Ranger Athriel. Keen to hunt down some trolls and do what rangers do best. Should be good, should be good.
Match 4, Hunt the Beast. Our game is to hunt down a cave troll in the centre of the board, and our opponent for this game is Athriel's Rangers, Pat's wonderful battle company. He's got a lot of great models here. The biggest one to note is, of course, his incredible archer Athriel, who is just a total sniper. She sits in the shadows and kills everything, so hopefully she doesn't pip any of my horses or the troll itself before we get there. Well, a mutual victory for round 4, and that one was over very quickly. Pat and I sliced and diced that troll. Reconciliation-wise, we still picked up 2 injuries, but luckily a full recovery for both of those. It would be really nice if Helm did something. A little bit of experience floating around. Grimbold luckily got all 3 wounds on the troll, which takes him across his 5-point threshold and gives him the narrative bonus. So he got an extra will and upgraded to Legendary Hero, and a couple of wonderful skills all around, most notably Helm getting a promotion. He rolled a big 6 on his promotion dice, and we finally got our first Rider of Rohan as Aethane was promoted. Now the mutual victory under our company special rules gets us 4 victory points, which takes us to 7, and it is time to mount up. So we will blow all of those influence, some heavy armor for Grimbold, and horsies all round for the rest of the company. And that takes us to our final company, horsies all round and a lot of juicy new skills to play with.
Alright, a draw!
Draw, it was good, really
We
good, really
sliced
good.
and diced some troll flesh together.
Second turn, we just charged in,
Yep.
blew might, and just
Yeah,
blew it off the board.
That was sweet. I mean, he did fucking whip my son of Earl again with his
Yeah,
stupid
yeah.
chain on the way in.
Shame he didn't get the promotion.
Yes,
but-
that was devastating. But yeah, good game, dude.
Awesome game, awesome game.
2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat. So a little bit better than round 1, just a little bit. But man, the company has grown. I mean, as you can see right here, I've got 9 models and 9 horses. That's right, the company is fully mounted. That pretty much happened in the last game against Pat. Just burnt all 7 influence that I had. I gave Grimbold some heavy armor to take him up to 7, and then bought 3 horses for the last remaining models who were unmounted. Aethane, of course, got promoted, so he gets a horse automatically, which is fantastic because now he's a rider of Rohan, which means he has a bow. So I can finally have 3 ranged models in the firebase. So he's just going to stick his throwing spear on the back and ride around with Harsufel and Harloff and hopefully lay down some sweet fire. Hopefully eventually a hero for him as well, and we can get some more might on the bows. I really thought it was time to then just put the archers on horse, seeming as Aethane was on horse, and that way we can have a completely mobile firebase, and those two have steady aim as well, so they can move their 5 inches shoot without a penalty. So that's a pretty effective little firebase now. I'd love to get an outrider next meet so that we've got that 3+ shoot value. We do with Harloff, of course, but more is always better. And then I had to give Brago a horse, because at that point no one else was on foot, and he'd be pretty ineffectual if he was just left behind trying to catch up with everything, particularly with his arm wounds. Poor old Brago. He got an extra attack as well, so he's now 2 wounds, 2 attacks, so he can just get up in there and just be a bit of extra knifey support in the combats. Royal Guard mounted up as well. We had that happen a couple of games ago, so they can join in the combat. So I mean, effectively we've got a big mobile combat unit that charges in and a mobile firebase that provides support. Pretty classic Rohan, really. The other big thing, of course, is Grimbold has a magical power. That's right, command on a 5+ and 3 points of will. I'm so excited for that. I mean, thematically it's cool, because now instead of just charging in and hacking people up, he kind of hangs back a bit and pings off a spell or 2 and then comes in, and so it's a bit more tactical for our leader. Well, I mean, it's completely off fluff. Don't think Grimbold's a mage, but anyway, it's pretty exciting. Pretty keen to check out and see how that affects, how magic can really affect battle companies, because we haven't seen any magic yet in the whole league. So I think I'm the first one to get a spellcaster and 3 will to boot. So I guess the tactic with him is spend 2 will to roll 2 dice. I'm needing a 5, so worst case scenario, get a 4, burn the will, get a 3, burn the might and the will, and that way I'm guaranteed to get 1 spell off each game. And if I get it off on the first roll, then I've got 1 will to aim for an extra lucky 5 or some courage. So yeah, real potential there for some great combat fun, and I'm really excited to just see how all mounted plays next month. Lots of models to prepare though. Wow. A lot of them are quite nicely done, but they do need to be brought up to the Battle Company standard, all based and kind of tied in with the painting scheme, so there's a little bit of work to be done there. And of course, we've got a lot of terrain to prepare for next league meet. We're doing something pretty special with the next narrative scenario. Our first custom scenario, moving away from the Games Workshop campaign. It's got some pretty special stuff. I won't give away too much just yet, but it is going to be a versus mode narrative game where each company takes control, each player takes control of their own company and fights it out, so there'll only be 1 winner in each pairing for the narrative matches, which makes those bonuses all the more worthy, and it's some pretty cool themey stuff as well, so there'll be some sneak peeks on that. Stay tuned. But yeah, pretty awesome league meet. Everyone had lots of fun. Company's growing. Great day. It's a win all round. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching and coming along for the experience. We tried some new stuff, a bit of narration and having a look at the opponents' companies, which you guys asked for in the comments. If you've got any more suggestions, please let us know. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. We'd love to have you around here. We're growing a little bit lately, which is really exciting. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Zorpazorp Gaming.